短夜のきつねたばしる縄手かな。
On short summer nights, in between the rice paddies, the foxes scatter.
That's too bad that it reveals it's a summer night. Because short night indicates summer.
Short summer nights.
Yeah.
That's true. It's kind of a bad translation.
Gives it away a little too easily.
Foxes in Japanese folklore are often kind of mysterious creatures. They're kind of related to yokai. Mm-hmm. They're tricksters, and they can help humans, or they can sort of trick people and lead them into negative situations. Mm-hmm. Today, we are sort of talking about the kitsune, or the foxes in Japanese folklore, through a book called, what's it called in Japanese?
きつねのはなし.
And in English, Foxtales by Tomihiko Morimi. This is a book that both of us enjoy quite a bit, and we're excited to talk about it today. And these masks are kind of suffocating, so maybe we'll do it without the masks. Please join us for our conversation. Okay, so let me just talk a little bit about Foxtales. This book was published in 2006 in Japan, in Japanese, and then it wasn't until 2022 that it came out in English. So there was a huge gap.
2022? That took a long time.
Yeah, at least this edition, which I think is the first edition. Yeah, but I think this guy, Tomihiko Morimi, he has some other books that are more popular. Penguin Highway, The Night is Short, and Walk On Girl, as well as the Tatami... something.
Yes.
Sorry, that I don't know. But I think his work became more and more popular, and so this is an older book, but it got translated because of the popularity.
I think some became like a movie or a show,
anime or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah, but I actually haven't read those like positive ones either.
Yeah, we don't know the cutesy ones. We just know the spooky ones.
Spooky one.
So basically, what this is 4 short stories that are basically interconnected. In the way that they all center around an antique shop, or I shouldn't say they center around, they all reference an old antique shop in Kyoto. All of the main characters are university students, usually an unnamed narrator, and all the kind of strange happenings that the narrator experiences and the people around him experience connected to the antique shop. One of the things that's important to note, this book is labeled as horror, but neither of us agree with that description. It's spooky, but it never really gets terrifying. It never really gets like too gross, or I think that this book is very unsettling. Mm-hmm. And I think that the horror elements are very fantastical, and I think that Morimi-san is really good at atmosphere. I think he's amazing at the visceral feeling of pulling you into the story, and that makes it kind of scary when something weird happens. Like you see a strange creature, or you see a mysterious person wearing a fox mask all of a sudden in a dark alleyway or whatever it is, dark house. But I think that his gift is actually that suffocating atmosphere, where you feel like, you know, this often takes place in the summertime, in the humid weather. There are a few scenes in winter, but it's like you feel that kind of suffocating, like humid Japan. They feel kind of oppressed by the atmosphere, and as a reader, you feel kind of oppressed and like almost like claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And I like that about him. I like your cover better than my cover, though.
Oh, this is not bad.
That's not bad, but I like yours better. It's cool. The fox mask. Yeah, and another thing that factors into the story is the fox mask, the papier-mâché fox mask that, not so much anymore, but in the older days you could find at the matsuri, the festivals. Someone wearing a fox mask comes back in all of the stories as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the first story, which is the title story, Foxtales. This is the only one where the narrator has a name. His name is Muto. Mm-hmm. We just learned his last name. He's a university student, And basically, he has a job delivering bento lunches. And he goes to this little antique shop called Horrendo. Do you know what the Horrendo means?
Ho is smell, scent. Ren is,
Hasu?
the Buddha's flowers.
Oh, lotus?
Lotus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and
Scent
then
of
do
lotus.
is whole.
Hall.
Whole. Yeah.
Okay. So like lotus-scented hall or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because the lady who runs the antique shop, Natsume-san, she often takes, well, every day she takes this Buddha, this smiling Buddha
Yeah.
statue, and she sets him out
Yeah.
outside in the sun trying to sell him because she sells like curios and antiques and stuff. And then every night she takes him back in. So that's actually kind of fits the lotus-scented shop.
Yeah. Do you remember? Oh, yeah, it's Hotei-san, right? Hotei-san.
It's translated as Budai.
Hotei-san.
Budai.
Oh, okay. Budai.
Buddha, the statue of Budai, which I actually was not familiar with Budai. And I actually meant to look that up, and I didn't.
Hotei-san is a god of fortune, I think, usually.
Ah, that's interesting because there's a minor character called Tsunaga, and the Morimi-san connects the kind of the smiling image of Budai, the what was his name?
Hotei.
Hotei,
Yeah.
Hotei-san, and Tsunaga-san. He kind of draws a connection between like this happy, like kind of round man
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
happy smiling Buddha. And then, of course, something bad is going to happen to the happy smiling man. Not to give too much away. But. So he has this job delivering bentos, and he quits his job, and then he decides, for whatever reason, he sees the little sign in the window that says like "Help Wanted." So he starts working at Horrendo, and he works with Natsume-san. She's like 30 years old. She's kind of a beautiful middle-aged woman, and it almost kind of feels like he has a crush on her because he talks about how beautiful she is, and he's like.
You said middle-aged?
Like 30,
For the lady,
30.
lady girl who is 30 years old? Yeah, okay.
Well, he's like a university
I have to
student,
say
so
that,
he's
sorry.
like she's like an older, but still beautiful.
Yes.
I don't know. It's in there, like in the English translation.
alright.
Anyway, but he has a girlfriend Naoko,
Yeah.
who's also a university student.
Yeah.
So he's got these two women in his life. Anyway, every weekend he's working at Horrendo. And he starts to get involved with a very mysterious older guy called Amagi-san. So Muto, the main character Muto, often goes to visit Amagi at night in his mansion because he has to do these deliveries. He has to bring some antique or curio from Horrendo to Amagi. And Natsume-san used to do it. But it seems like, number one, she doesn't like driving much. And number two, there seems to be something weird going on between Amagi and her. And she's kind of freaked out by him. Like, after he visits Amagi the first time, he's like, I didn't like it there. Amagi kind of freaked me out. He's like this kind of weird old man. But at the same time, I didn't want Natsume to ever go there again. So I decided to, like, always do the deliveries to Amagi's house. And they sit in this really weird room that has, like, bizarre illustrations on the fusuma, the sliding doors. But it never actually says what the illustrations are. And then Amagi's always wearing this kind of, like, casual blue kimono. And the color blue comes back many times, which I thought was interesting. And over the course of the story, all of the characters kind of orbit around Amagi-san. And you're not really sure if he's truly human, or maybe he's some kind of like a yokai, like a spirit. Maybe
Or at least haunted. Or
he's haunted by
some
like a
story.
fox spirit or something. He has some supernatural quality that's not really defined, but it comes out at certain times in the story. The story just builds and builds and builds, and it gets darker and darker, and then of course it reaches its conclusion, which each of these stories ends with something like a twist. It's not all of them have a big twist, but all of them kind of have this unexpected like ending, and that's kind of interesting. I really enjoyed that first story especially. It's very, very masterfully done. You don't really see the twist coming, and also the twist is not so clear. Like, it's not like logical. It's kind of magical, or it's kind of fantastical. Something you wouldn't really expect, but yet it fits. It's not just, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's kind of built up in a way. The spookiness of these ancient artifacts and the power that they contain. So before we talk about the other stories, I wanted to ask you about. I think that there's a bit of a cultural difference for a Western person reading this book and a Japanese person reading this book.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I didn't think that this is horror is because of those kinds of things, like having an antique that holds this kind of power. I mean, we have that kind of thing sometimes, like a doll or like a, the Stephen King's like wind-up monkey that you throw it away and it comes back again or whatever. But I feel like Japanese culture has a lot more of that kind of like the ancient thing holds this power, holds this curse, a curse that can maybe be passed down through the families and things like that. Like you guys have that a lot deeper in the culture. What can I say? Like a cultural belief or like a collective belief in these kinds of things. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like,
it's very natural for us to accept that it's either the negative or positive, like it's whether it's curse or protection.
Yeah,
because when it works positive, that's an ancestor. That's we celebrate our ancestors, and we have the family grave, and everybody after they die, like they go into the family grave, not just an individual grave.
Yeah, all of the remains are put together in one grave. Yeah,
and then in summertime we have obon vacation, obon time,
the holiday.
And then we go back to our ancestors' grave. The family gathers, and we kind of celebrate that, and so that's like it's very natural for us to think, we respect them, and then they protect us, kind of relationship. So like it's kind of like same idea that like these old objects or shrines as well. I think this book has a lot to do with shrines.
Yeah, shrines and temples.
But see, temples are a little bit different. But I think shrine is more like a relationship with people and the gods. So this is heavily about particularly fox shrines, I think.
Sure. The Inari Fushimi Shrine in Kyoto, very famous.
Very famous.
I'll show a picture of it.
A lot of torii gates, and a lot of foreign people go there without really thinking about it, but I think originally...
How do Japanese people view the Inari shrines? It's not just Inari Fushimi Shrine, but there's actually fox shrines all over Japan. There's shrines to Inari-san, the fox god, everywhere.
Yeah.
Why is that
originally, the fox god is god of rich harvest, food.
Yeah.
Which is very crucial for, people back in the day, especially.
Yeah, rice.
Yeah, so people always went there to... pray for the good harvest, good rice fields, and generally if you go to fox shrine, the wish will come true.
If you ask for something, you pray for something.
But if you don't thank them, or if you don't go back and do just give them
some offering or something.
Typically for fox, it's fried tofu.
Inari sushi.
If you don't do that kind of thing, you are more likely to have the punishment. That's a belief, right? Okay, so some people don't believe that, but some people heavily believe that.
Right. And
a lot of actually companies and business that are successful, especially food-related companies, still do worship Inari. So believe it or not, that's still going on. It had some power to it.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know that, and if you fail to thank or whatever, then you will get the consequences. And then if you are a tourist and then you go there without thinking about it, probably it's okay, because the god probably knows you're a tourist. But like I just kind of feel like, oh god, that's kind of scary, but it's okay to go.
Yeah. On that note, I actually wanted to say that I really like the fact that Morimi-san uses Kyoto in all of the stories. The setting is always Kyoto. The setting is all real. It's real places.
Yeah.
So, for example, in Fox Tales, it opens with Amagi lived near Sagi no Mori Shrine in Kyoto's eastern hills. The setting is the Amagi-san's house, and then the next little section, Horrendo is a curio shop in Ichijoji, not far from Sagi no Mori Shrine. This book doesn't have any chapters, but it has like each scene or little section is divided by these little circles. So there's like 4 or 5 paragraphs, and then it jumps to a new scene. and then a few more paragraphs, and then it jumps again. Different characters, different settings. It even jumps in time, days later, weeks later, months later. And I like that. I like how it moves along. But anyway, you can see on Google Map, for example, if you look up Ichijoji section of Kyoto, you look up the Saginomori Shrine, it's a real shrine. It's a huge shrine.
Yeah.
And Kyoto's eastern hills, you can kind of guess where Amagi-san's mansion might be, even though, of course, these are, fictional stories. But I love the fact that you can actually sort of go there.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
We could actually go to Kyoto and, go to these places.
Yeah. You feel like, oh, this could be, Horendo might exist, and, this could be a real story.
Yeah, because Horendo is in this district of these old little shops, and that area really does have those old little shops. It's very, very well made in very believable way.
Yeah.
And actually, there was a Japanese person who mapped out these stories on Google Maps.
The book level blogger.
Yeah. And they kind of painted over the Google map, like, this story takes place in this area.
Yeah.
This story takes place here. And I thought that was fascinating. It's
I know.
The true fan, So let's talk about the second story in here.
Okay.
The Dragon in the Fruit.
Yeah.
Is that the same, roughly the same title? Basically, the unnamed narrator, who again is the university student, goes and hangs out with his senior. And the senior doesn't even have a name. He's just called my senior, which I assume is senpai. Is it just senpai? The senpai lives in these two rooms. Basically, one room is like this Spartan kind of no furniture, just a bed and like a kitchen refrigerator. And then the other room is his library. So he has nothing but bookshelves, even bookshelves covering the windows, and just, it's like a prison of books. He describes it as a prison of books. And the senpai tells these stories. He has all of these stories, and he has this journal when he and his brother traveled the Silk Road. But then over the course of this story, it starts to become kind of weird, and you kind of wonder how much of this is true, and is he really who he says he is? And I don't want to give anything really away, but it's also very interesting. It also has a really nice twist at the end, and some of the stories are very fantastical, and it also involves Horendo, the shop, and so on. What is a netsuke?
Oh.
Because the title, The Dragon in the Fruit, refers to a netsuke that's basically this tiny dragon inside of a persimmon.
Yeah.
It's on a bag, someone's bag, and they hooked it on as a little charm.
Yeah, so I guess it's like a case, or not bag, but like a case, and then that would connect to your kimono.
Yeah.
It's
like a kimono tie.
I can kind of imagine that, but it's
like nowadays everybody has the little keychains on their phones and wallets and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that kind of thing, I guess. Yeah.
But anyway, in Horendo they sell netsuke, these carved, isn't it ivory or stone sometimes?
I don't know.
Or is it wood? Anyway, these little carvings.
I imagine wood, but I don't know.
I imagined ivory, but that's probably for the rich people. I don't know. Not just in this story, but overall. It seems like dragons kind of subtly come into this book, which I didn't actually notice that so much. Maybe we should wait to talk about that until we talk about the last story.
But last story, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't actually realize that there were hints of dragons here and there. I knew the fox gods. I knew there's this long-bodied creature that comes back many times, that has human eyes and human teeth.
Story, that's really kind of freaky too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think it's the fox?
I think it was just a yokai.
Yokai?
But it was somehow connected because the long body, they keep saying it's a weasel. It might be a fox, but it seems to be something else. But then again, the fox mask keeps coming back, and Inari-san himself is kind of a weird looking god. He looks like a fox, but it's not necessarily actually a fox. But sometimes
when you go to the fox shrine, you can sometimes see this kind of creature.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. It's a fox, but it's not really the fox as an animal. It's kind of like that, but it's different, Like you said in the beginning, we have this fox-like yokai, often in anime and stuff. They have 9 tails, you know. That's kind of like a yokai side of fox. And then there's this god messenger type of fox as well. They get kind of mixed up sometimes, but the image is kind of like this.
Okay.
Yeah, like a weird, that kind of mouse
Like a smiling kind of like human teeth.
Haven't you seen that in a shrine?
Yeah, maybe. I didn't know what it was. I certainly didn't think it was a fox, but I mean, even on the cover of your book, it's like, I mean, it doesn't really look exactly like a fox. It's kind of human-like.
Yeah, it's a different force, different spirit.
Right, than an actual like natural
animal
fox. Yeah,
fox.
Animal fox. Okay. Yeah. So the one thing I want to say about this story that I like the most is the senpai tells a story of his grandfather writing the family history. Like he decides to write like an autobiography, but he begins like in the ancient Japan in like the Kojiki, which is like the legends, like the it's like Princess Mononoke, like the Age of the Gods, like he begins there to write this autobiography that's like this incredibly like epic, like more like a mythology of this family, and he kind of goes insane, and he fills this room with old books and maps, and like he spends all of his time working on this like this story of the family history that's pretty much all imagined, and I really like those elements of the story. This story was good. I mean, I didn't absolutely love it, but at the same time, it had these really great, like some of the senpai stories are really amazing.
A lot of his stories are kind of made up. You don't know like what's true and what's not true, and that makes it really interesting because some of the stories, he puts in those keywords like those creature or
horrendo.
What else? Yeah, and then like these things that come back around in every story.
Yeah.
So you kind of go like, is that And then like that's what makes the spookiness.
Yeah.
It just kind of like brushes the same keywords, and then that's what makes you creeped out.
Yeah.
I think that's actually more scary than the true horror you think of, like bloody or murder or something like that. This subtleness is very creepy and believable.
It's kind of like insanity in a way, like in the reader's mind.
Yeah,
because these things don't quite fit together. It's like, but the previous story it was like this, and then in this story it's like that, but it's like it's like the same shop and the same kind of the spooky mansion on the hill, but it's not the same characters and it's not happening in the same way. So it's like you feel kind of confused in a. I like that though. I don't think that's a negative. I think that's actually a positive.
Yeah.
It kind of messes with you.
Yeah.
It's really like an unreliable narrator. Okay. So let's talk about my least favorite story, which is still good. Like I love this book. I don't want to say anything like really negative because I really do like it. But the third story in here, Phantom. How is that in Japanese? What's the
Ma.
Oh.
Ma.
I was thinking it was like yurei or
Ma.
obake or something.
Ma, like, what is ma?
I guess it's phantom.
Like evilness.
Oh.
Or
evil spirit or something?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's okay. The reason why this is my least favorite story is because it's a bit clumsy. I felt like it has a nice twist at the end, but the way that it goes, the twist kind of comes out of nowhere. He sets it up just before the ending, and I didn't like that. I wanted the twist to be set up much earlier. I think he kind of tried to, but it didn't really work for me, I guess. Like, it's this... Basically, the story is, again, the unnamed university student goes to tutor these high school kids, and there's this high school boy named Shuji, and he's not a very good student. His older brother Naoya, and then their friend, Mika Natsuo-san, who's the daughter of the sports shop.
Yeah.
And then Akizuki, who's the son of a monk of a local temple. So Shuji, Naoya, the brothers, Mika Natsuo, and Akizuki, they're all in the kendo club, this local kendo club. And so basically what ends up happening is the narrator gets drawn into this world, this neighborhood where Shuji and Naoya's family runs a liquor shop called Nishida Spirits. And so he goes to this house that's also a liquor shop, and he tutors the kids, and then he drinks with the dad afterwards. And I like the atmosphere. Morimi-san's really, really good with the atmosphere. So on his way to Nishida Spirits, he often will kind of wander the neighborhood, and he gets to know these weird little streets, and And then, he teaches, and then after that he drinks with the dad, and so then he's like wandering drunkenly home through, again, the kind of the night world. And that part was really cool. And then what ends up happening is they start to have reports of people are being attacked at night. And they form a neighborhood watch. The dad forms a neighborhood watch with some local like firemen and whatever. And the dad actually gets attacked at one point. And then he's like, main character, nameless main character, you should be careful when you're walking around at night. Like maybe you should leave early, or, maybe the boys should go with you. And it comes to light that the character of Akizuki, the monk's son, is caught out at night with his kendo sword, with his bamboo kendo sword. And Akizuki has a history of getting into fights, and he used to kind of go around and he would just get into fights with anyone. And so they think he's probably the one that's attacking these people. So he gets like apprehended, and that becomes a whole thing. And he's like, I'm innocent. And that strange creature that we were just talking about, the long-bodied, freaky maybe fox creature or whatever, factors into this very fundamentally. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's not what you think that it is. This situation is not what you think that it is. The problem with this story for me was there was a lot of time spent with these high school students and the kendo club and all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now it's a horror story and here's the twist and now we're done. And I wanted a little earlier there to be a few more supernatural elements. There's a little bit that comes in sometimes. Like he goes into a tobacco shop and there's like a grandma that's like scared of the monster at one point. But like, it's not really much. Okay. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think the point was that just to draw that it can happen to everyone.
Well, they're all just regular people. I mean, the high school kids, the liquor shop, and I mean, they're all just regular working class people. More.
Yeah, but I just thought, actually kind of sort of realized that they are running a sake shop.
Sake shop, yeah. Nishida Spirits.
Yeah.
What's the
Well, because sake has such a significant relationship with shrines.
Oh, okay.
It's something that you give to the god.
It's an offering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sake, of course, made from rice. Fundamentally,
maybe that's why
Japanese.
He kind of targeted it there.
I see.
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, and then not only they're selling liquor, but it's a sake shop, and then he's drinking sake with the dad. He's not like drinking beer or something. He's specifically drinking sake every night.
Yeah, maybe he attracted it.
That's interesting. The fourth story in here, the last story, I feel like is a nice bookend. Like the first story and the last story really wrap it up so nicely because the fourth story has elements of all the other ones.
Yeah.
And it also really relates to the first one.
Yeah.
I actually kind of can't decide which I like better. I like the first story probably the most, but the last story I also really love. That's called The Water God.
Yeah.
And this one maybe has some elements of a dragon, right?
Yeah,
because
I
dragons
think so.
are associated with rivers and water.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like mentioned in a dragon in the fruit, the presence of dragon. But then, here definitely like this whole story deals with the water and flood.
Yeah.
And that's the family. This focuses on the family, and then this like the night of wake.
Yeah.
Wake.
Yes. The wake for the grandfather. Yeah.
Yeah. So family get together, and then the family was dealing with the business of
construction.
Construction industry, right?
Yeah. So again, the narrator is unnamed university student. His great-great-grandfather. Yeah, Naojiro Higuchi, the great-great-grandfather, was involved with digging out the Biwa Canal.
Yeah.
Biwa Lake is the biggest lake in Japan, and in the Meiji period, toward the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century, Kyoto wanted to show that it was modernizing.
Yeah.
And so they did this huge engineering project that it took from 1885 through 1890, 5 years. And they basically dug this huge canal that connected Lake Biwa with some other parts of the city to irrigate the water and whatever. And so the great-great-grandfather was part of this project. But a lot of men lost their lives as they were digging and blasting out the dynamite and whatever. People would fall into the caverns and they would get flooded and they had to pull people out, and sometimes they couldn't get out. One of the foremen is so stressed out that he actually commits suicide. He jumps into the cavern and just ends it because he just can't take it anymore. And so that history really becomes important in this story.
Yeah.
There's I get chills just thinking about it. Like, so at the wake, the drunken uncles and the father are talking about the family history. And the main character is listening to all of this. And there's a lot of mysteries. There's some kind of an heirloom that Horrendo, the shop, was holding on to this heirloom that has been passed down from great-great-grandfather to great-grandfather to grandfather, that has something to do with the Biwa Canal and like, this kind of mystery. Maybe they dug something up, maybe they shouldn't have, or,
Yeah.
And
Treasure.
yeah. And also an interesting element also is that the main character's father is the grandfather's, not his actual biological son, but the son of his second wife.
Yeah.
So the uncles and the father are not even half brothers. They're actually not even related. But the uncles, their mother died, and so the grandfather remarried this woman who had a son, and that's the main character's father. Yeah. And that also plays a kind of interesting part because the mother, his grandmother, the main character's grandmother, also dies in a mysterious way. And it's all in the spooky mansion. There's a lot of stuff with water. Yeah. The water disappears, and like all of a sudden the taps don't work, and then all of a sudden there's a flood, and like these really interesting, crazy kind of phenomena. Yeah. And the whole time, they're also drinking sake. They're getting drunk beneath the giant, photo of the grandfather, glaring down at them while they're getting drunk at night. Because in Japan, in the wake, you're supposed to stay up all night, right? The night of the death. And that is a really great horror ghost story, I think. Like, that's probably the most horror besides the first story.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really loved the story. I really was so into it. I couldn't stop, like, just turning pages, it really, like, I wanted to know what's going to happen. Yeah. And I was so sucked into the family history, too. Yeah. It's almost kind of like a mini, like, 100 Years of Solitude or something, where it's like you have all of these, these uncles and these weird, like, these, ancient... And the other thing, too, is that the narrator's telling the story, but he doesn't even really know that much about his great-great-grandfather. It's all kind of hearsay. And maybe he was like this, or maybe there was... Supposedly he had these crazy parties, and, like, they don't even really know so well. They just kind of repeat what they've been told, like the uncles and him. And then that also adds a really cool element to it.
Yeah, I think he kind of gets to know a little bit more objectively and clearly because his bloodline's different.
Right. Right.
It's important.
That also becomes important.
Yeah, because the whole family, the bloodline is not cursed, but like affected by something. Depending on your actions, like the huge protection can be a curse if he flips to the negative side. So this family had a shrine in their house, right? And some old families do have this, and
in the garden, in the center of the house, there's a Japanese garden.
Yeah, families have this, and you have to be really, really careful how you deal with it. Like you can't stop worshipping, or you can't move it. Yeah. So like sometimes in the modern ages, like sometimes you want to move it or you want to just close it or something, but you have to be really careful because that's something that's been protecting the family for like ages. Yeah. And if you shun it like that, it's just the protection flips to the curse. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So you have to be very careful. And then actually you can say the same thing for well. Like maybe you have seen this kind of references in Japanese horror movies.
Sadako.
Sadako is a bit different, but
I was thinking, as soon as you said well, I was thinking of Murakami Haruki.
Well is like
he always uses wells in his
kind of
stories.
related to it. Like even in the modern ages now, like you can sometimes see in in a city. Like there's a parking lot, but then there's a well. They can't close it. Right. Sometimes they can't close it because there's a god living in the well, and if you suffocate, if you close the well without thanking or without doing anything,
some kind of ceremony or
but even so though, well causes a lot of problems like this, the construction, killing people, and it's so. Sometimes they just leave it alone, even though there's no use to it now. Right. But I mean, it used to be everything for people, being able to get water. Sure. And water equals often dragon god. And so the fourth story, the water god, has a lot to do with, I think, dragon. And then they sometimes get angry because they they were very much thanked
in the old days.
Yeah. It was everything,
it's
it
life.
was blessing.
Water itself is life. Yeah.
But then people don't care anymore. Modern people don't care anymore.
Right.
And then like they are treated like garbage, and they get angry. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, especially this kind of construction family and stuff, they usually have some kind of this kind of shrine in their house or something going on, because
That's interesting.
touching the nature for Japanese people is very scary because of this kind of things happen.
The phenomena. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's, I don't want to interrupt you, but there's a really cool moment in this story where they talk about the narrator's grandmother, who mysteriously died, the second wife of the grandfather, Hanae-san. And Hanae-san actually talks about, in her hometown, there was a shrine that was somehow flooded, or it sank to the bottom of a lake. And so there's this underwater shrine. And then there's rumored to be like there was a mermaid that was spotted there, and this kind of weird phenomena that may, I mean, you think of mermaids like something positive, but it's actually maybe kind of kind of freaky. But they can't really do anything with it. It's just this drowned shrine, and that has maybe even a connection to her in a way. So you have this shrine in the middle of this Japanese garden of this mansion, this ancient shrine, and then her hometown has this drowned shrine. I thought that was really fascinating, and the duality of that. Yeah. So once you're involved, like, you can't get away. So especially if you're your business is touching land, soil, or water line. You have to be careful. Modern people just see nature as money, but it's not how it is. And especially in Japan, I think in our consciousness or in our blood, like we feel that because of the presence of Shinto. Maybe we just feel that probably it doesn't culturally translate well to the American or Western audiences. I just hope that this book, when it's translated, like, I hope this would translate too, but I think it's hard. Yeah, those kind of things are like a cultural nuance or a cultural, belief. It's hard to see that. I read some reviews online of this on like goodreads.com and stuff, and people were saying some people really liked it. If you like Japanese culture, you kind of like it, but a lot of people said, oh, it's kind of boring, it's not really horror, it's kind of like, why am I reading this? And I think that's part of it, is that cultural misunderstanding of like, this book is easy to read, it's very light, how it's written, but it's actually, there's a lot there. Like
you don't get fully if you don't really understand the culture.
Yeah. I feel like I want to recommend this book to anyone who reads in English, but I feel like Western people probably take it in two different ways. Like, on the one hand, you don't understand, if you don't know much about Japanese culture, you probably won't understand some things. You probably want to look up, like, even Fushimi Inari Shrine or some of these kind of things. What does the fox represent and these kind of things? Because it's not really explained. Or, on the other hand, you might get interested in that, and you might go like, hey, Japanese culture sounds pretty cool, and like, I want to know more about this. And you might get your curiosity piqued a little bit. So, the good thing about this book, I think, is that it doesn't explain, but that can be a negative for people who don't really know what's going on. But, I mean, I love Japanese culture, and I love this kind of world. I really, really like how this book is built. I love the interconnected short stories and these elements that come in, these supernatural elements and cultural elements. Really, really fantastic. I'd like to recommend this to anyone who's interested, especially if you're interested in Japanese culture. Yeah. Well, that's one of the cool things too, is it's all set in Kyoto, and so it has this kind of the old traditions, and the kind of atmosphere of Kyoto is a little different than modern Japan. Kyoto's still kind of spooky.
Speaking of the Kyoto being old and stuff, so that's why it carries this weight, the history, you know. So as I'm gonna say, like, if you get involved with anything like this, like gods, like, just, if you feel this spookiness coming in your life, like, just kind of step away, because you just don't want to be involved. Once you touch the territory of gods, like, you don't know what's gonna happen. So I think that's kind of like the moral of the book. Don't go messing where you shouldn't be messing. Don't dare. Okay. So if you come visit Kyoto or something, you'd kind of feel this kind of feelings, I'm sure. yeah, it's kind of like X-Files, I guess. You can be curious, but don't get too curious.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I want to believe, but yeah, maybe I don't want to really see what's actually behind the thing. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, I think.
Yeah, that's how I feel about shrines and Shinto.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we both give a thumbs up, a heartfelt recommendation for Foxtails by Tomihiko Morimi. Check it out if you have a chance. I think that this book is still in print. You can probably find it. So,
Yep.
yeah. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again.